Welcome to the Bookworm Duo, where we explore a variety of books so you can find your next great read. Let's get started.
Sounds good.
So today we're taking a deep dive into Lost Story by Meg Shaffer. Have you heard of it?
I have, yeah. It's a really intriguing blend of mystery fantasy and even some romance.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and one of the things that makes it really unique is that the story unfolds through these interwoven narratives, and there's even this mysterious storyteller who chimes in throughout the book.
A storyteller, huh? What do they do?
Well, it's like having this enigmatic guide who kind of drops these cryptic clues and draws parallels to classic fairy tales. It makes you question what's real and what's imagined.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, so to set the scene, the story starts with these two boys, Rafe and Jeremy. They vanish into the Red Crow State Forest, only to reappear 6 months later with absolutely no memory of where they've been.
Yeah, it's a pretty gripping mystery right from the start. You're immediately hooked trying to figure out what happened to them.
Right, like where did they go? What did they do?
Yeah.
And the way Shaffer reveals the story is just as captivating as the mystery itself.
For sure. We get glimpses into the boys' past through these flashbacks, and then those are interwoven with the present-day events. And all while this is happening, the storyteller is chiming in with these cryptic hints.
So it's like a puzzle where the pieces keep shifting.
Exactly. And speaking puzzles, we can't forget the fairy tale element that adds a whole other layer of complexity.
Yeah, Shaffer weaves in classic fairy tale tropes like lost princesses and hidden kingdoms and even magical creatures.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel cliché or predictable.
No, not at all. It's like she's taken these familiar elements and given them this modern, almost grounded feel.
Right. It's not just a rehashing of old fairy tales.
Yeah.
It's something entirely new and fresh.
And amid all the mystery and fantasy, there's this really interesting exploration of the deep bond between Rafe and Jeremy. You see how their relationship evolves over the years, how it's tested and strengthened by what they go through.
Yeah, their bond is definitely a central part of the story. And then we have Emily. She enters the picture later in the book.
Emily.
Okay. Yeah, she's on a quest to find her long-lost sister Shannon, who vanished years ago.
So another mystery.
Kind of. And as fate would have it, her search intersects with Rafe and Jeremy's story.
Oh, wow. So all these stories are connected somehow.
Exactly. It adds this whole other layer of intrigue to the book. And Emily's journey actually takes her to this hidden world called Shenandoah.
Shenandoah, what's that like?
Well, this is where things get really interesting. It's a place brimming with magic and beauty, but there's also this undercurrent of danger lurking beneath the surface.
So it's not all sunshine and rainbows?
Not exactly. It's this contrast between the idyllic and the unsettling that makes Shenandoah so captivating.
I can see that. And what about Shannon? Does Emily ever find her?
Well, let me just say this. Buckle up because there's a major twist coming.
Uh-oh.
Shannon is alive in Shenandoah. And get this, she's the queen.
Well, hold on. She's the queen.
Yep. Talk about a revelation that completely upends everything.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So now Emily has to reevaluate everything she thought she knew about her sister.
Right. And Rafe and Jeremy, well, they're forced to confront their suppressed memories of Shenandoah because it turns out they've been there before.
Wow. This is getting good. But you mentioned danger. What kind of danger are we talking about?
Well, it turns out this magical world is facing a serious threat, a dark force that's connected to Rafe and Jeremy's past.
I wonder what that could be.
Well, have you ever heard of creatures called bright boys?
Bright boys. No, never heard of them.
They're absolutely terrifying. They feed on fear and wreak havoc wherever they go.
That sounds intense.
Yeah.
So basically we have Rafe, Jeremy, Emily, and Shannon all caught up in this battle to protect Shenandoah from these bright boys.
Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. But what I love about Shaffer's writing is that she doesn't shy away from the action. The fight scenes are so vividly described, it's almost like watching a movie.
I like that.
Oh.
So it's not all just talking and feeling.
Definitely not. There's plenty of action and adventure. But there are also these tender moments between the characters. These glimpses of vulnerability and compassion.
Oh, that's nice. It adds depth to the story.
It really does. It's that balance between action-packed adventure and genuine human connection that makes Lost Story so compelling.
Sounds like a great book to add to my reading list.
I think you'd really enjoy it.
Awesome. We'll have to talk more about it after the break.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, it really is a compelling story. And while the action and adventure keeps you on the edge of your seat, it's the exploration of love and loss and courage and the power of memory that really resonates with you.
Right. Those themes are so universal.
Exactly. Schaefer doesn't just like throw those themes at you. She weaves them into the very fabric of the story. They unfold naturally alongside the characters' journeys.
Yeah, it's like she's inviting us to explore those themes along with the characters, like to confront our own fears and discover the strength we have inside ourselves.
I like that. And speaking of the characters, we were talking about Rafe and Jeremy's relationship before the break.
Yeah, they share that really deep bond, but how does that dynamic play out in the face of all this danger and uncertainty?
That's where those flashbacks become really crucial. We see glimpses of their childhood, their shared experiences that shaped their connection.
Oh, I see.
And as they go deeper into their suppressed memories of Shenandoah, you see their bond being tested and strengthened in ways they never could have imagined.
Wow. So the mystery of their lost time isn't just about what happened, but also about understanding how it shaped who they are today.
Exactly. It's like a journey of self-discovery intertwined with this epic adventure.
Love that. And what about Emily? We can't forget about her.
Oh, of course not. Her determination to find her sister takes her down a path she never could have anticipated.
In what way?
Well, she goes from being this somewhat sheltered woman to this fierce protector who's willing to face unimaginable dangers to uncover the truth.
That's awesome. I love that she's not just a damsel in distress.
Me too. She's strong and capable, and she really drives the story forward.
What about her reunion with Shannon? That must be an incredibly emotional moment.
It is, but it's not all happy tears and warm embraces. Their rediscovered sisterhood comes with its own set of challenges.
Like what?
When they have to confront years of separation and the pain of their shared loss, it's not easy.
I bet. So we've got these interwoven storylines, a mysterious hidden world, and characters grappling with these complex emotions. It's a lot to take in.
It is, but Shaffer handles it all so well. And we can't forget about those Bright Boys. We were talking about them earlier.
Right, those fear-feeding creatures. They sound terrifying.
They are, but I think they can be interpreted on multiple levels.
How so?
Well, on one hand, there are these formidable antagonists. They represent the forces of darkness that threaten Shenandoah.
That makes sense.
But on a deeper level, I think they embody our fears, the anxieties that hold us back from living our fullest lives.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's like they're these external manifestations of our internal struggle.
Exactly. And the way Shaffer depicts them is truly chilling.
You said it. They prey on the characters' vulnerabilities. They exploit their deepest fears and insecurities.
Right. It's like they know exactly what scares us the most.
I'm officially creeped out.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to admit, the way Shaffer blends these fantastical elements with real-world issues is really compelling.
I agree. It's like she's taking these universal human experiences and wrapping them up in this magical, almost allegorical package.
I like that. And you know what? I think the setting of Shenandoah itself can be interpreted as a metaphor.
Oh, tell me more.
Well, it's this hidden world full of beauty and danger, right? It could represent those uncharted territories within ourselves, the parts of us that we're afraid to explore.
That's a fascinating perspective. So the characters' journeys into Shenandoah mirror their own journeys of self-discovery.
Exactly. They have to confront their inner demons to find their true selves.
I love that. And the way Shaffer describes Shenandoah is simply breathtaking.
Yeah.
You can practically feel the cool mist on your skin as you wander through those enchanted forests with the characters.
All right. It's so immersive.
It's like you're transported to another realm.
Okay, so we've got these complex characters, a captivating setting, and a mystery that keeps you guessing. What about the romance? We talked about hints of it between Rafe and Jeremy.
Ah, yes, the romance. Well, it's not your typical love story.
What do you mean?
It's a slow burn. It develops organically alongside their journey of self-discovery and confronting their past.
Oh, I get it. So it's not just a superficial attraction.
No, not at all. It's a love built on mutual respect and shared experiences, and a deep understanding of each other's flaws and strengths.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And how does Shaffer depict their relationship?
She does it with tenderness and power. She doesn't shy away from the complexities of their connection.
Yeah.
The unspoken emotions, the unspoken anxieties that come with falling in love amidst chaos.
Feels realistic.
Very. And it's a reminder that even in the midst of darkness and uncertainty, love can still blossom.
I love that message. Okay, so we've talked about the characters, the setting, the Bright Boys, the romance. What about the writing itself? How would you describe Shaffer's style?
Well, her prose is simply captivating. She weaves lyrical descriptions together with this sharp, witty dialogue.
I could see that.
And her pacing is masterful. She knows when to speed things up and when to slow things down. It creates a rhythm that keeps you on the edge of your seat while allowing you to really savor those emotional nuances of the story.
So she's a really talented writer.
She is. And one thing I particularly appreciate about her writing is her ability to blend humor with the more serious themes.
Oh yeah, I noticed that too. Even in the darkest moments, there are these flashes of wit and irony.
Right. It lightens the mood without undermining the emotional impact.
It's like she's reminding us that even in the face of adversity, there's still room for laughter and lightheartedness.
Exactly. And I think that's a really important message, especially in a story that deals with such heavy topics.
It makes it more relatable.
Definitely. Now, you mentioned earlier that Lost Story has this unique narrative structure with the flashbacks and present-day events and interludes from the storyteller. Did you find that structure effective?
Oh, absolutely. It could have easily felt disjointed, but Shaffer weaves those different threads together so seamlessly.
I agree. It's like you're piecing together a puzzle with each chapter revealing a new fragment of information, a new perspective on the mystery.
And those interludes from the storyteller, they add this layer of foreshadowing and intrigue. They make you question what's real and what's imagined.
Right. It's like the storyteller is challenging us to become active participants in unraveling the mystery, to look beyond the surface and search for those hidden meanings.
Okay, so for our listeners who are thinking about picking up Lost Story, what can they expect?
Well, as we've been discussing, it's this captivating blend of mystery, fantasy, and romance, but it's also a story about confronting your fears and embracing your true potential and the enduring power of love and friendship.
It sounds like a really powerful story.
It is. Schaffer explores some complex themes like trauma and lost memory and identity, but she does so with such sensitivity and nuance.
Yeah, it sounds like she really knows how to connect with her readers on an emotional level.
She does. And if I had to sum up Lost Story in just a few words, I'd say it's captivating, thought-provoking, and utterly magical.
Ooh, I like that.
It's a story that stays with you long after you finish reading. It makes you question your perceptions of reality and the boundless possibilities that lie within each of us.
Beautifully said. And I think that perfectly captures the essence of Lost Story. It's a book that reminds us that sometimes the greatest adventures are found not in distant lands, but within the depths of our own hearts and minds.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, it does make it more relatable. So for our listeners who haven't read Lost Story yet, what can they expect?
Well, like we've talked about, it's this captivating blend of mystery and fantasy and romance, but it's also about facing your fears and embracing your true potential. And of course, the power of love and friendship.
Yeah.
Shaffer isn't afraid to explore these complex themes too, like trauma and loss and memory and identity, but she does it with sensitivity and nuance.
It sounds like a really well-rounded story.
It really is. If you had to sum up Lost Story in just a few words, what would they be?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'd say it's captivating and imaginative and hopeful.
I like that. I think those are really good words to describe it.
It's a story that makes you think about the possibilities that exist within each of us, you know?
Right. And it reminds us that sometimes the greatest adventures aren't found in far-off lands, but in the depths of our own hearts and minds.
Beautifully said. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up our deep dive into Lost Story.
Yeah, it's been a great discussion.
Thanks for joining us. Subscribe to our channel for more bookish adventures and hit that like button if you enjoyed the ride. Don't forget to share the knowledge, and we will see you on the next episode.